The Raptors could not stop Golden State's high-octane offense tonight as they fall 119-104. I'm Randy Urban, and this is Raptors Night Cap. Tonight, we're joined by Sherman Hamilton, Jack Armstrong, and Leo Rautins. And hopefully, Leo, your dog's going to make an appearance tonight because we need it on a night like this.
Sleeping, man. They're out cold.
All right. Sherman, I'll start with you. It looked at times like the Raptors played as if they were too aware of the Warriors' reputation and record, as opposed to just playing the game. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think the Raptors had to be aware of the Warriors' record. It's pretty good, and the way that they've been getting it done. So, yes, they were aware of it. I would agree with that. Did they pay too much attention to that? I don't think you can. I think that they did pay a lot of attention to Steph Curry, and that eventually started opening things up for other guys like Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. And again, and Leo, Jack, you guys are both coaches. You know this. You're going to pick your poison with a team like Golden State. But you know that a guy like Steph can beat you single-handedly. So you're going to roll the dice and make other guys beat you. And those other guys beat the Raptors in a game like this.
Jack, but did it not feel like the energy just wasn't there from the start?
Oh, it was a tough start. But when you look at the game, they took a lot more shots. I think they took 20 more shots. They got more offensive rebounds. They turned them over more. So I thought they generated enough energy. The question is, per possession, which team had better possessions? Which team was more efficient? Which team shot it better? And tonight, I just think the Raptors had more chances, but they didn't do enough with them. And to me, I think that becomes, really frustrating because you feel like you're playing hard, you're trying your best, and yet the other guy's making shots and you're not. I mean, Andrew Wiggins was on an absolute tear from that corner. And it seems like every time he plays against the Raptors, he plays at an incredibly high level. And at the same time, he's played really well for them. But as Sherman mentioned, give Poole and Wiggins credit. Those guys were excellent tonight. And again, in terms of efficiency, I thought the Raptors played hard. I just think it was an efficiency thing. You look at Trent tonight, his shooting, Van Vliet early in the game. Scotty Barnes was really quiet early in the game. And that all kind of gets to a point where you're playing from behind all night.
Well, Leo, the efficiency is down then for the Raptors. Is that what Golden State was doing defensively, or did you not like the shots the Raptors were getting?
Well, let's put perspective on Golden State. This is a really good team, and I love watching these guys play. To me, they're the perfect combination of old school, new school. They shoot the three at new school, but they play the game the right way. They make the extra pass, they defend, they get out and run. They do a lot of really, really good things when they play. So, part of what hurts you is their rhythm and the way they come out in games. They kick you in the teeth, right? And all of a sudden, you got to get used to their pace, their game, and they do that to everybody, right? And if they don't get off to a great start, at some point in time, they're going to kick it in, and you're all of a sudden going to find yourself either playing too fast or just being uncomfortable because it's them, right? So it's what they're doing defensively, it's what they're doing offensively as much as anything else. So they're a really good team, and Sher pointed out you can lock in on one guy, and you've got a lot of other guys that can do damage. And they did. You really got to give them credit because everybody kind of wrote these guys off, after Clay got hurt and all the things they went through, and they were really smart. They didn't panic. They said, okay, you know what? We're going to develop guys. We're not going to wear Steph out. He's not going to play too much. We're just going to get back, and when we have all our soldiers back and all these guys are developed over that time, we're going to be there. And guess what? They are.
Mm-hmm. Sherman, are you going to say something?
Well, I was going to say the numbers are real with the Golden State Warriors. I mean, they're number one in defensive field goal possession for a reason. They're number one in opponent points per game for a reason. So they're not smoke and mirrors anymore on the defensive end. They can stop you, and they can make it very difficult. And then they have, as Leo was talking about, that the walls are closing in effect on you. They score so efficiently that every time you don't, it puts that added pressure on you. And they continue to play at a pace that they're comfortable with, plus they get stopped. So they're very, very good. You have the number one offense and the number one defense in one team. That's some serious balance right there.
Yeah, Jack, we've talked about the 3-point line being a bit of a Achilles heel for the Raptors so far this season. 22 on 45 shots for the Warriors from behind the arc. What was behind the Raptors' struggles defensively on that end?
I think to Sherman Leo's point, the ball movement was just great. They play the right way. Paint touch, swing, swing again, and you just can't catch up to them. Plus, they have enough guys that can shoot it, so they spread you out around the perimeter. The Raptors are a paint protection team. The Raptors are going to try to get a lot of pressure into the ball. So there's a lot of help and recovery and tag teammates and they got you scrambling, gambling, running around all over the place, and it's hard to catch up to it. And they have a guy like Draymond Green who's really special. My play of the night was they inbounded the ball in the backcourt and they did a give and go on the inbound play, which was just absolutely a sensational play. It was just a picturesque basketball play. It's just a hard team to defend because you're always chasing. And
hey, you know what? If I could say, Jack, with Draymond Green, he makes a simple pass an art. He's just going to put it right there, just a little bounce pass. He's just reading the defense. He's watching everything, and he just puts it right there. I'd love to play with that guy, and you could see the synergy with everybody on the floor. They know when Draymond's got it. If you're a defender, turns his head, just go where you got to go because that ball will find you.
Well, 31 assists on 39 made field goals. To your point, Jack, this team moves the ball with purpose, and it's consistency with the ball movement that has your defense chasing all the time. And they're so good in terms of knowing how to get the ball to teammates. It's really effective. And to your point about that inbounds play, Jack, it was beautiful. But that's the attention that Steph Curry can grab. 90 feet away from the basket, the Raptors are double teaming him to get the ball out of his hands. He recognizes that, kicks it right back to Draymond Green, the inbounder, and off to the races they go. And I think it led to an Andrew Wiggins 3 in the corner. So understanding what the Raptors are trying to do, and Steph Curry, so smart, gets rid of that basketball to a playmaker that we all agree, Draymond Green is a very good playmaker, and he makes the right decision. It was just a tough night for the Raptors when the other guys play that well for Golden State.
Well, Jack, that's the attention to detail that I think some of the younger Raptors have to recognize. Now, in that play you talk about, that Scotty Barnes turning his head slightly and not paying attention to the inbounder, and then Draymond taking advantage of that. But I thought Scotty had some nice moments tonight and then some okay moments. What did you think of his play?
I'm so happy that he's out there and he's playing against good competition and he's learning. And the only way he's going to become a better player is to have nights like this and understand that you don't always have success and you got to play through things and you got to hustle back and you got to stay engaged and you can't hang your head. And those are all things that are going to develop his game. He ends up with a double-double. I think he'd be the first one to agree it was kind of a quiet double-double, but nonetheless it is. It just shows how much talent he has. And once he puts it all together consistently, he's got a chance to really impact the game. But I don't have expectations of Scotty Barnes where he's going to be this consistent guy every night. If I did, I'd be completely unrealistic because it's not going to happen. He's a rookie. It's going to be all over the map. But you got to celebrate those really good nights where it all clicks. And then there's going to be other nights where it comes and goes.
Leo, were there any other bright spots that you noticed for the Raptors?
Well, I think at different times, right? Achua early, right? Pascal Siakam got it going. The one thing, we've been saying last few shows about Gary Trent Jr. is that, he gets this little streaks, right? He'll have that the spurt where he's going to knock down a bunch. I'm waiting for just the 4 quarters of Gary Trent, right? I want to see the 4 quarters. I don't want you disappear one quarter, get 10 points the next quarter, go down to 2 points and then 8 points. I want to see kind of a flow. Yeah, you can always have that higher scoring quarter, but you don't want to disappear in a quarter. And so that's things like that I look for. I'm watching that, the bench the bench kind of helped them get back into it a little bit when they started off slow, and that's a positive. And, you want to continue to have bench play, right? You want to continue to have these guys come in and it's going to be a little bit of a struggle because you got different bodies, younger guys, and they have to make an impact. But games like this are going to help them learn. I mean, you go out on the floor against Golden State, you see what they do. What's the best way to understand what Nick Nurse says? When you see that second defender, get rid of the ball. You've done your job. Is there a better example than Golden State? I mean, that's it. This is Nick can walk in the locker room. This is what I'm talking about. This is how you do it, right? You watch tape tomorrow. This is what I keep telling you guys. And so these are great lessons for all these guys, and it's part of the process.
Sure. I thought Banton was a little bit more aggressive with his shot quickly. Did you see that, and do you like that?
Oh, I always love when Delano Banton is aggressive. And, every time he steps on the floor, within the first minute of him being on the floor, he's going to do some positive things. And that's what I like about his approach. He's making a play. He's rebounding. He's moving the basketball. He's pushing it in transition. He's making a defensive play. But you can see with Delano, he's got a good feel for the game. He's got a good mind for the game. Physically, he's getting moved off of his spots a bit. He attacks. He doesn't have that strength to keep his line sometimes. But you can see his understanding of what needs to be done is there. The pass might not connect, but you can see he saw the play. So I just think it's a great foundation to work with. And kind of like these guys were saying about Scotty Barnes, listen, the young guy is in meaningful games. He's playing against high-level competition. He's getting a chance to show what he can do. So I think the growth and the curve is going to be much steeper. And both he and Scotty Barnes, I think, are developing at a very good pace. And just one more thing about Scotty Barnes. I mean, he was 10 and 13 being a career high, season high in rebounds. Plus he had 5 assists, a couple steals. Listen, if you're going to have a young player who's going to struggle like that, you're in good shape. Those aren't bad numbers for a young kid who's struggling in a game. So there's a lot of positives to really draw from, even on a night where we know he's not playing his best basketball.
And sure, again, something we talked about with Scotty. He's such a high IQ player.
Yeah.
Right. He really understands. So when the other guys are playing it at a higher level, his game elevates. Right. Right now he's still a rookie, so he's not going to carry you. Right. But when everybody else is clicking and the play is elevated, his game really rises because he can play with the guys. When they're moving, when they're cutting, they're making shots, they're doing the right things. He's locked in. He can do that. So, that's one thing great about the IQ guys, man. When everybody around them is popping, they elevate their games.
Real quick, we'll do a little overtime for the people at home. Jack, did you see that Isaiah Stewart kerfuffle with LeBron?
I did. And
what did you think?
Well, I mean, for a team like Detroit, I thought they played pretty desperate tonight and played very hard. It's going to happen. Stuff like that's going to happen. And, LeBron got tossed, but Mr. Stewart's a very physical young man as well. We saw that a few weeks ago when he was in Toronto. So he takes it, but he dishes it out as well.
Sherman, your take?
Listen, there were a lot of people that tried to get between Isaiah Stewart and LeBron James, and a lot of them got knocked over by Isaiah Stewart. So, I know there's Sunday Night Football, but I saw some great hits on the floor. But I will say this, it's one of those things that we see it so many times. There's contact and a player just throws his arm and it catches a player. This time it's LeBron James, and this time it was a hard blow and it opened Isaiah Stewart's eye up. So there was a lot of emotion there, but it's going to be interesting to see the fallout from this based on the altercation, how big it became. I'm interested to see what the NBA does about it tomorrow.
Leo?
Well, let me ask you a question. So here's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see nobody try to stop him. Just let him go. Because you know what? Nothing's going to happen. Because guess what?
I don't know about this one, Leo.
Okay, sure. Let me ask you a question. How many people did he get through? How many people did he get through to get there? And then all of a sudden, you were able to hold him back? Come on. This is like every other basketball fight. I'm coming at you. As soon as I'm there, it's you know what? I just let him go. He's not going to do anything when you get there anyway. It's going to be, you're going to bang chests and go huff and puff. And it's like, come on. I'm not buying it.
I'll let him come at you, Leo. I'll let Stewart come at you, and you see if you want anybody in between.
Hey, I'm just telling you, I haven't seen one guy finish the act. I haven't seen one guy go chase somebody down. All I know is if 6 guys are holding you back and you make it through all of them, but you can't make it through the last couple, come on. If you really want to get there, you're going to get there. You're going to take some people down and come on. I'm not buying it.
I know one thing, you wouldn't be able to catch me. Happy running so fast. That guy is huge.
Oh, he's crazy.
Right.
Hey, you never want to get in a fight with a guy like that, but there's not going to be a fight.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to cost everybody.
And he's gone.
It's going to cost everybody way too much money, and they all know. As soon as you close this, it's going to cost you.
Yeah. All right, good stuff, guys. I appreciate you doing that as always. Next game for the Raptors, they'll get a chance to regroup Wednesday night in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Tip-off goes at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will see you then.